The Galactic Academy of Strategy prided itself on being the greatest training ground in the Orion Arm. For centuries, cadets from dozens of species had come to study its simulations. Epic wars rendered in painstaking detail, designed to test endurance, logic, and cooperation. The crown jewel was the 10-year war simulation, a program so intricate that even the Academy's brightest minds often required months to reach the halfway mark. On this cycle, however, a new set of cadets stepped into the glowing chamber. Humans, Deathworlders. The assembled instructors whispered among themselves. Most species regarded humans with wary curiosity, a mixture of respect and unease. The galaxy had learned long ago that Earth was no ordinary cradle of life. Too many predators, too many extremes of climate, too much chaos for fragile beings. Survival there demanded more than instinct. It demanded audacity. Still, the Academy believed the simulation would humble them. The cadets, 12 in total, all young by human standards, entered the chamber without ceremony. Their leader, Cadet Alvarez, raised an eyebrow at the holographic maps spanning entire star systems. He turned to his peers and gave a small grin. "Okay," he said. "Who wants to break this thing first?" The instructors frowned. Most cadets approached the simulation with reverence, not sarcasm. But before the officials could interject, the humans got to work. Where other species began with diplomacy matrices and supply chain projections, the humans immediately started tearing into the data. They bypassed the ceremonial introductions of the war councils and instead hacked the logistics layer of the program. Within minutes, they had identified choke points no alien strategist had ever exploited. Cadet Yara, with a background in systems engineering, spotted a fuel dependency in the enemy's fleet design. "They're bottlenecked here," she said, pointing. "We don't need to fight 10 years. Just starve them." Cadet Havers, a former competitive gamer, leaned back casually. "Or we cut through this flank and collapse their economy in week 2. Simulation doesn't protect against asymmetric strikes, right?" The instructors exchanged nervous glances. That was not supposed to be noticed so quickly, but the humans weren't finished. They split roles instinctively, 2 managing sabotage, 3 coordinating rapid fleet maneuvers, several others monitoring psychological operations. They didn't just fight battles. They destabilized governments, sowed misinformation, and turned allies against one another with uncanny precision. At the 30-minute mark, the simulation's enemy coalition had lost half its infrastructure. At the 45-minute mark, their fleets were in full retreat. By 52 minutes, the war ended in total collapse. The simulation, designed to span a decade of grinding attrition, flickered into silence. The holographic stars winked out. The chamber lights rose. The instructors stared, silent and pale. One finally cleared his throat. "Cadets, you appear to have broken the simulation." Cadet Alvarez shrugged. "Not broken, just solved. Faster." A Zyrathian commander, known for her scaly composure, hissed in disbelief. It was not meant to be solved in an hour. It was designed to test endurance, attrition, and the willingness to sacrifice. "Funny," Cadet Yara replied, arms crossed. "Where we come from, if a war drags on for 10 years, it means both sides are too stupid or too stubborn to end it. Why suffer longer than necessary?" The room fell silent. For the aliens, war was ritualized, bound by centuries of tradition and protocol. Battles unfolded like chess matches, full of calculated restraint. To the humans, war was something else entirely. A problem to be ended as quickly and decisively as possible. One instructor whispered the phrase that had haunted the galaxy since first contact: "Deathworlders." The word carried weight. It meant survivors who had stared down predators, diseases, and disasters since their infancy as a species. It meant minds accustomed to improvisation under pressure, bodies hardened by scarcity and danger, and a cultural instinct that saw every threat as an obstacle to dismantle. The instructors held a private conference after dismissing the humans. "If they can dismantle our most complex simulation in under an hour," one murmured, "what will they do in a real war?" Another shuddered. "Pray we never find out." Back in the dormitory wing, the cadets lounged casually, already joking about the exercise. To them, it had been less a test of war and more a puzzle to crack, a game with slightly higher stakes. Cadet Alvarez raised a toast with his nutrient flask. "To Earth," he said with a grin. The others echoed him. The galaxy would remember this day. The Deathworlder cadets had not just passed the Academy's greatest trial. They had exposed the terrifying truth. For humans, war was never about how long you could endure. It was about how fast you could win.